to the letter, this should be the place.
Sorry, we don't serve the general public. I'm afraid you'll have to leave.
Wait! We're not the general public.
Well then, you must be a couple of wandering outlanders that snuck into the nation, judging by your attire.
Are our clothes really so...
The Yashiro Commission's seal. This must be from Mr. Toma. It seems there's more to you than meets the eye, in which case, welcome to the Komore Tea House, a safe haven for the Yashiro Commission.
Well, that sounds more like it. Well, now that we're here, where's Toma? Paimon doesn't see him anywhere.
Who forgot their promise? I was beginning to think you'd forgotten about me.
What? Is that dog talking to us?
Relax, no need to look so surprised. I take it this is the first time you've seen me in this form? Huh. So you didn't see anything like this when you were in Liyue Harbor?
Now that you mention it, this does suddenly seem...
Alright, I've had my fun.
Hey! You're this close to getting an ugly nickname, mister!
Well, I've had some time to kill, given that I've been waiting here for you for so long, as was the case in Rito. So I came up with this little fun but in all seriousness, I would like to apologize about that little test you went through earlier, though it was quite necessary. It helped us determine whether or not to bring you before Ms. Kamisato, and whether...
Don't think that Paimon's gonna forgive you just because you're getting all serious now.
Sorry, did I overdo it? My apologies. Let me just say this. You've often found yourself skirting the rule. Naturally, this is due to your unwavering and resolute determination. A long time ago, we had a friend who was much the same. But when the... so you've heard of his story. His light still burns all the more brightly. Yes, of course. I will bring you to the Kamisato residence where the Yashiro Commission is located. But before that, there is one other place I was hoping you both would accompany me to.
Oh?
I would like you to come with me to the statue of the omnipresent god. It's still under construction now, but you can already see it from practically anywhere on...
Probably don't come here often, do they? Huh? Are Paimon's eyes playing tricks? Or are there...
Visions.
Visions? You mean all the visions that are collected from the Vision Hunt Decree are put into this statue?
So you've already heard of the Vision Hunt Decree. Before I try to explain, I should perhaps remind you first that Mondstadt is the city of freedom, and as for Inazuma, it's known as the Nation of Eternity. The Raiden Shogun is both the nation's most... The eternity in question? As such, she relies on... The Shogun wishes to keep Inazuma in stasis, allowing the...
Seems like every god has their own whim.
Of course, this is my own limited understanding. As for the reason, perhaps the Shogun believes that visions grant people the power to change. Whatever the case, the fact is that the Raiden Shogun has dispatched the Tenryou Commission to scour the nation for visions, and this statue of the omnipresent god can be seen as Inazuma's symbol of eternity.
But if that's the case, wouldn't you say that the Raiden Shogun is being, I don't know, selfish?
Only outlanders such as yourselves would ever dare speak out so directly against the Raiden Shogun. And yet, I agree. The Vision Hunt Decree is something that simply should not exist. and Miss Kamisato has been committed to fighting it since the day it was announced.
Huh? Hey, are you okay? You look like your mind is elsewhere.
Sound? What sound? I didn't hear anything. Did something happen?
Yeah, you touched the statue, and then...
Aspirations? That would seem to confirm the saying. Have you heard it before? That when a person's ambition reaches a certain strength, the gods look upon them with favor. That is where visions come from. In other words, a person's vision represents their ambition. So if what you just said is true, then the ambitions of these people are stronger than I imagined. All right, time for the next stop on our tour of Narukami Island, the Kamisato residence.
What's the hurry? What's the hurry? What's the hurry? What's the hurry?
How fortunate.
Are you here to play with me? Over here!
This moment will be frozen in time.
The merrier!
Let's dance. Hi.
Let me amuse myself a little. The more, the
Freeze!
merrier. You really know how to get me going.
Cool it!
Go, Barbara.
Let me amuse you.
Don't get frostbite. Freeze! Dodge this! Freeze! How fortunate. What's the hurry? What's the hurry?
I'm sure the Kami-sama plan will be fine.
What's the hurry?
So, this is the kind of place where the big shots of Inazuma live, huh?
Welcome at last to the Kamisato residence, honored guests. Miss Kamisato was.
Is this the Shirasage Himegi? Oh,
Yes. As the daughter of the Yashiro, consider it a time-honored tradition within the
makes sense.
Please forgive my lack of courtesy for receiving you in this fashion. I have awaited your arrival with great anticipation, at present in Inazuma. And though the Yashiro Commission serves the Shogun, a commission's power rises and falls with the trust of their traveler. Lend us your power, and we can... Oh...
See, milady, it's just like I said.
No, please! Wait! I will introduce you to the Raiden Shogun. On one...
What are your wishes?
They pertain to three whose visions were taken...
A warrior who guards a village.
Correct. Please do all...
I'm sure...
Let's see. Where's the person?
Why are you doing this? Why leave all of a sudden?
Precisely. It's much too sudden. The children are desperate for you to take them out to play.
That must be the guy Ayaka told us about.
Ah, you must also be... Teijima has protected this, keeping out the treasure hoard. But now, all of us, we will glad...
If you want my... It's clear that I can't claim to... Truth be told,
Seems like he's a well... You must be Tejima.
Me? It's not a question of why I want to leave. True. And what made me want to come here 30 years ago? I don't have answers to those questions, because in the past, I knew I wanted to stay here. But whatever
Okay. Well, But if you can't... Oh! Maybe if you just...
Oh, that reminds me. Last time I brought...
I keep a diary.
Oh, yes! Yes, you do!
Perfect! So if we want to keep Tejima...
If you don't mind, we will leave you to find the diary.
This looks like Tejima's diary. Let's see what we... Today, the villagers and I got together to cook dry braised salted fish. I messed up and burned mine a little, so I had to pretend that it was black snakehead instead. Today, I helped rescue a kid who had fallen in the water. After I pulled him out, he told me that his best friend Bamboo was still in the water. I searched the water the whole afternoon before finding out that Bamboo was the name of his pet crab. I went kite flying today. The string broke, so I chased after it as fast as I could. I soon realized I was never going to get it back, so I just found somewhere to sit and watch as it flew away into the distance. Seems like your average diary of daily village life. Huh? Wait! There's more! I went to pray at the shrine again today and stayed there a while. The Omamori you gave me has faded a little, but it is still my most treasured possession. Now that's the kind of info we're looking for. Time to pay a visit to the shrine. So this is the... interesting. But anyway, if he had the...
I wish it could be like this all the time.
Looks like it's been disturbed. Maybe Tejima Bear must be something pretty amazing if it made him stick around for... It looks like... Konda Village. Sounds so familiar. Where is that place again? But he's been here for 30 years. Well, let's go give Tejima his...
I'll be... Still... Over the years... And just look at all... How could I have forgotten something so important? Love? Regret? No. After all, It's as if she'd never been in my life to be... Although, when I think about it like that... How curious... Thank you both for helping me reconnect with my reason for staying. I shall remain here and keep waiting for her.
Tejima seems to be dealing... okay. Seems it's just like Ayaka and Toma were saying. That certainly explains the state Tejima was in earlier. At least we were able to help... According to Miss Kamisato, the second one who lost their vision is a samurai from the... They say the Tenryou Commission is directly controlled by the Shogun. They're the ones responsible for maintaining law and order in Inazuma. The ones actually enforcing the Vision Hunt decree. But why would they take action against one of their own? Paimon doesn't get it. Huh? There seems to be some commotion over there. Let's go see what's happening.
I'll ask one more time. Do you intend to The entire clan is counting on that food. We demand an explanation.
How many times do I have to say it? I don't know anything about emergency provisions.
You dare deceive us? Those provisions are essential. You samurai think you can just do whatever you please? The Tenryou Commission will hear of this. Oh, huh? And who are you?
What? We heard the commotion and came to see what the matter was.
I see. You seem to have come just at the right time. This is Kurosawa. He's a samurai and a member of the Shogun's army. They issue emergency provisions to the area, and in the past, we'd simply ask him for provisions and everything would be delivered. Now, he suddenly refuses to give us anything. He's keeping the provisions for himself. I just know it.
No one seems to care about us. We used to think Kurosawa was a kind man, but he's shown his true colors. It's no wonder all the visions have been confiscated. The Raiden Shogun doesn't need...
This must be one of the people Ayaka asked us to help. Maybe we should talk to Kurt.
I've never even heard of these emergency provisions. I don't know whether it's rumors or whether they're trying to blackmail me. But either way, it's ridiculous. If I was hoarding supplies, my own family can barely get by as it is. And that's the first bit of truth I've heard all day. The Shogun's army told me that I was unworthy of my vision.
Well, that's strange. You were helping enforce the...
To be perfectly honest, all I know is that I would perform certain things every month. But I don't recall what they were. And it's not just that.
Does it have to do with the missing emergency provisions?
I didn't take any. Like I said, if I was to top it all off, if you don't believe me, go find the treasure hoarders yourself. If there were any emergency provisions to be had, they...
But we better confirm. Look, we should be able to follow their tracks. They couldn't have gone too far.
What's the hurry?
We really outdid ourselves this time. All those samurai houses packed with goods. We really hit the jack.
You haven't seen anything yet. Today's just the beginning. I'll be leading you all on an You demand!
These seem like the treasure hoarders we're after. Let the show begin.
Dodge this!
Leave it all to me.
Oh, there goes all the Mora. We worked hard to steal that, you know? Come on, boss. Think of something.
Not bad, kid. You ever think of joining the treasure hoarders? We could use Kurosawa. Oh, I remember. So he's the one who sent you after us, huh? Just our luck. I knew he shouldn't have hit that place.
So what did you see in...
Food supplies. You kidding? That place was a complete mess. I didn't want anyone else to see it, so I was planning on opening. Now that you've caught us, how about we make a deal? That little box for our freedom.
You've got a deal. Now show us...
Huh?
What the?
There's nothing in here but IOU!
Yeah, a lot of them too. And they all seem to be made out to the owner of a general goods store, a Miss Aoi. We better talk to this Miss Aoi. As for you guys...
Yes, of course. So, we redeemed ourselves for some IOUs.
Shut it. Let's just get out of here.
Someone needs assistance. Welcome to Tsukumomono Groceries. We've got everything you need. Can I help you find something? Or perhaps there's something you want to inquire about? Ah, so you're friends of Kurosawa, I take it?
Whoa! Let's not get ahead. How did Kurosawa end up owing you so much money? Did he buy anything super expensive here?
Let me think. Kurosawa would come regularly to purchase large quantities of foodstuffs. He'd always put the payment on his own account. However, the price of provisions began to skyrocket.
So that's how he was getting those emergency provisions. But why did he have to purchase a usual amount?
Well, if you think about it, the citizens receiving the emergency provisions must have been carefully calculating how much they needed. Kurosawa thought that it would be quite the disappointment for them if they found they didn't have enough, especially after such long and careful planning. So he deemed it necessary to take on the debt rather than let the people down.
Wow. Kuros, and no one ever appreciated what he did.
People's attitudes will always reflect their circumstances. In the face. If you ask me, had Kurosawa told everyone the truth about the supplies from... Of course, I'm sure there would still have been some unrest. What he was doing was truly a thankless deed. As for why he chose to spend his own money on emergency provisions and never tell anyone, I'm still not too clear myself. If you're still curious, why don't you go ask him yourself? I see. That most unfortunate. If he doesn't clear the debt on his name, he'll have no choice but to sell that sword that is so dear to him.
Sword?
Oh, didn't he tell you? He possesses a very... I've asked him about its origins. He told me that it was a gift. In hindsight, I regret that I never made an offer on it. Everything has its price. At least that's what I think. Why don't you ask him about the sword yourself? Oh, but before you go, if you would kindly settle today's bill.
But we didn't buy anything!
Information is also a kind of commodity. Wouldn't you agree? Don't worry. I won't charge much for information about...
At least we now know where the emergency provisions are coming from. Plus, let's go talk to Kurosawa.
I presented them with a choice. Either they left or I drew my sword. It turned out to be a real time saver, actually. Did you manage to track down the treasure hoarders?
That just about sums it up. It turns out that you
Strange. Is that really the kind of person I was? I don't really have any such recollection. Even after all you've told me, I still don't remember anything. Why was I purchasing emergency provisions for everyone? And why would I put myself in such a difficult situation? But I cannot deny that when I brandished my sword to scare those two away, this sword was once wielded by my father. I remember once when I was young, I wanted to sneak out with the blade. What did he say? I can't seem to remember that either. It would seem that I forgot many important things when my vision was taken from me. So many memories gone. Forever. No matter how hard I try to remember, all I can remember now is my father telling me that this blade bore his life's creed. Before he passed away, he placed the sword in my hand and said to me, "With this sword..."
Hey! If you look carefully, there seems to be some words engraved on the hilt. Can you recognize the words?
Virtue and justice? Somehow those two words seem to explain everything now. Taking on seemingly endless debts to make others happy. I guess that must have been my greatest ambition. But what use are virtue and justice? The Tenryo Commission seized my vision. And the very people I was so desperately trying to help. And the irony of all of it is, I'm incapable of being a good person. Yet I'm equally
Yet another troubled soul. When we get the chance, let's speak to Toma about Kurosawa's debt. But in any case, we must never let him sell off that sword. Yeah. Seems fortunately for us, you don't have a vision. Let's go find the next poor soul.
Someone needs assistance.
The third person who had their vision taken is supposed to be a famous sword master around these parts. Hyman heard that he's the present-day master of Meikyo Shisui art. Sounds pretty impressive. This is his dojo. Luckily, there's some people around. Let's go talk to them.
Nanako, don't worry. Sensei will be fine. Those thugs that challenged the dojo were strong, but he fought them all off in the end, didn't he?
Maybe, but I'm still worried about him. Things have gotten dangerous before in the past, but it's never shaken him. This time, though...
It's just because he's been possessed, that's all. Once the exorcism has taken place, he'll be right as rain in no time.
Hey there! Did something happen?
Who are you? I don't care whether you're trespassers or just here to harass us while Sensei is impaired. Don't make me draw my blade, or you won't live to regret it.
No! You got it so wrong. We just came here to,
Disciple?
Yep. We've heard all about the mighty, but then we got here and overheard...
From the way you're dressed, it doesn't look like you're from around here. Please, accept my apologies. We've had so many people trying to cause us trouble recently that we're on high alert. You haven't arrived at the best of times, I'm afraid. Sensei got possessed recently. I see you are earnest in your pursuit. Oh, Sensei's name is Domon. A name I'm sure you've already heard. Though self-taught, he mastered the art of the sword to a high level. He then proceeded to defeat many other prominent sword masters. He once said that his goal was to become the best sword master in the world. And so, even while training us, he continued to hone his own art. But then...
Not long ago, Sensei had his vision taken away. He hasn't been the same since. He says the strangest things over and over, and he refuses to let us train. Junya and I have discussed it, and we both think that he's being possessed by an evil spirit. So, but if I'm honest, I still have my doubts over whether he'll completely recover.
The Grand Narukami Shrine? What's that?
You haven't heard of it? It's the largest shrine on Narukami Island. Not that we'd have any means of involving the head shrine maiden, of course. But even one of the ordinary shrine maidens from the Grand Narukami Shrine would have clear power and authority to perform an exorcism. So don't worry, Nanako. Sensei is going to be just fine. The exorcism will take place this evening. You're both more than welcome to come and watch if you're interested.
So, losing your vision can cause possession?
So you decided to come. So good just now, when when she asked him who the people were, it looked like he was in great distress. He was all the while he kept calling those names. Some of them we knew. One of them was Anzai. Sensei wouldn't stop calling his name. The ritual has now begun. Please, excuse me for a moment while I fetch some water.
Huh? Who's that sneaking around? We won't let them get away with... Seems they aren't here. Should we keep going further up? Is this definitely the right place? Let's look a little further up. Aha! Suspicious person sighted!
How did you... Are you sure you're Dome... Unless...
Excuse me? And what are you doing sneaking around these parts?
Bad news?
I'll have you know I trained side by side with Domon back in the day. Long before... I don't care to talk about that time anymore. But if you must know, I am Domon's senior.
His senior?
Anzai. Yes, that's me. Because I don't wish to see Domon or anyone else associated with him ever again. When we were young, we trained under the same sword. I had begun training 5 years before. Practitioners of Make-Yoshi Sui art seek to achieve stillness of mind. But Domon was different. Sensei scolded him. I thought so too at the time. Only then did I he was consumed by his singular desire to become the best in the world.
Sure sounds like he meant business.
Because until he arrived, of all the disciples, I was the most gifted. Domon's arrival changed everything. Later, I heard that he sparred with Sensei too. Sensei was advanced in years by then. After that, I wanted nothing further to do with him. Deep down, though, I still respected his mastery of the blade and his commitment to the art of the sword. So, when I heard rumors that he had lost, I decided to quietly come and see if it were true. So you see, Okay, you've heard my story.
Seems like we got it wrong. Still, Paimon's not sure we should bring him.
You're saying he isn't possessed? Does that mean he's just lost his mind?
Nanako, please. Try not to get agitated.
I am sorry. With what powers I have, I can... But spirits may take him, and all is certainly not lost. For I received word not long ago that...
Lady Yai? Is that...
The head shrine maiden of the...
Correct. Lady Yai is... I am unable to say for certain...
Excuse me, Miss Inagi.
That won't be necessary. All that is required of you is your timely arrival at the Grand Narukam. I must leave now, but we will meet soon at the shrine. I wish Domon a full and speedy recovery.
Who'd have thought Lady Yai herself would have taken...
Do you mean to say that Sensei isn't renowned enough to
No, that's not what I meant at all. You misunderstand me. I just mean this is Lady Yai, the head shrine maiden. She has direct and close contact with the almighty Shogun herself. Anyway, you should join us too, tomorrow. Given that you've traveled all this way just to meet our sensei, we...
Sure! After all, everyone seems pretty excited about Lady Yai. We're curious to meet her too. Who knows? Maybe we'll be able to find out a thing or two about the Raiden Chukan from her.
catch up.
What's the hurry?
Do you think that's Lady Yae? Oh, no wonder Junya is so excited. She has a really striking presence. Also, is it just Paimon? Or did she look right at us just now? It was probably—
Keep away. Keep away from me. I gave up the art of the sword. Please, let me go, I beg you.
As you can see, Lady Yae, Domon has persisted in this state for some time now. He appears—
Lady Yae, it must be a possession. This is nothing like him at all. In the past, no matter—
I'm sorry. It is clear to me that your sensei is not possessed by any evil spirit. But— yes. This is a change in the person himself, unable to cope with the tremendous pressure he as one who is thrown into the sea, though he fights back desperately against his predicament. As for what has triggered this change, I believe it must be the loss of his vision. For to be stripped of one's vision is to be stripped of one's ambition.
Stripped of his ambition? But Lady Yae, even without his ambition, why should he suffer such a dramatic change? How does that—
Your school practices Meikyo Shisui art, does it not? Stillness of mind, freedom from all agitation. What a fine notion that would be if any in this world could ever hope to achieve it. There was once one who claimed to be indifferent to rank and reward, and who fled enraged when defeated by his junior. And then there was an aged swordmaster who was aggrieved enough that he crossed blades with a disciple he himself had taught. Then, what of the one who crossed blades with his own sensei and beloved fellow disciple, and defeated them both?
Lady Yae, I'm not sure I understand.
The path of the swordmaster. It requires one to take their sword firmly and only a deep commitment to his ambition to be— When that ambition disappeared, he began to doubt himself. As he battled his growing anxiety, he slowly descended into the state you see him in now. Much like a certain fatally flawed friend of mine.
Poor sensei. To think he's been suffering so greatly.
I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Father, Sensei, Ansai.
That's enough.
Huh? Isn't that Ansai? Where did he come from? Did he follow us the whole way here?
Ansai, why are there two of you? Is that you or a ghost? You're here for revenge, aren't you? I knew it would come.
You're right to assume that my feelings towards you are far from kindly. It's been so long now that I made peace with it years ago. You did nothing wrong that day. I couldn't face the humiliation. That's why I ran. I don't think most of the people you beat along the way would hold it against you. Now I know that we can't place, but that is no reason to strip them of their—
But what if one day the same thing happens to them? I put everything I had into trying to become the best. But what if it was all a huge mistake? If there's a chance they'll end up like me one day, I'd rather they stay where they are now than go any further down this path.
Have you asked them what they think?
Sensei, after you rescued me from the hands of the pirates, I told myself I would follow in your footsteps for the rest of my days. I can't know whether I will suffer in my— I want to keep going until the day that—
Nanako's far from the only one. Actually, all of us think that way.
Goodness.
You see? You can place the ambition you once had in their hands. Being stripped of your ambition is something that's never happened to me, so I can't claim to understand it. But I do know what it feels like to have your ambitions crushed. So, just as I once placed my ambitions onto you, it is time for you to release yours into their custody. You are not in the same position that I was. When I left, I had—
I'm sorry to have made you worry for me, and for the state of Meikyo Shisui art. I no longer have the resolve to become the best in the world. The emptiness and suffering inside of me will not abate, so I cannot hope to still my mind and be free of agitation. But as your sensei, I shall commit to imparting unto you everything I have learned in my life so far. This is my promise. And I humbly ask Anzai, my senior, to hold...
You can count on that. I'd be checking in on you occasionally anyway, but I am now used to the life of a wanderer. I do not belong in the dojo anymore, so well, don't just stand there staring at me.
So even though his ambition was taken away, his disciples can take it over.
Traveler, a moment, please.
So, my intuition was correct. The wind that blows from afar carries fresh life to these shores. For us to meet now is premature. Nevertheless, you set foot on these islands at precisely the right moment. I have high hopes for you, child. Don't disappoint me.
Ooh, Lady Ai seems to have taken a real interest in you. She seems super mysterious. But, we can come back to it.
What's the hurry?
Oh, Ayaka! Guess who fulfilled all your wishes? Huh? Ayaka! Huh?
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 Traveler, Paimon, it is a pleasure to finally meet you both face to face. I have heard all about how you helped our three friends. My sincerest thanks to you.
Yeah, short of getting them their visions back, Ayaka, how come this time you get to come out and meet...
Because now that you have done the 3 things I asked of you...
Oh, wait a second. But isn't Toma your, servant?
Oh. Paimon, you are most entertaining.
Oh, okay then. Ayaka, you seem pretty different out...
Back to the matter at hand. You have now witnessed the pain of those deprived of their... Thunders roar, lightning... But I believe that surely you understand what they must... It seems that perhaps now you can appreciate my... You will? Really? Naturally.
Alright, bravo, my lady. You were right all along.
See? I told you he wouldn't reject them. Now then, given that the remainder of our discussion...
Well, here we are again.
Please continue without me. I'll keep watch.
So, what's the deal with this place anyway?
This is land that was gifted to the Yashiro Commission by the Shogun. The Kamisato clan has the exclusive right to plan, build, and repair any... Such privileges exist due to...
Oh, Paimon gets it.
Once the number of ceremonial...
Makes sense. Perfect place for a secret base.
In any case, we can talk freely here. The almighty Shogun. I've seen her on but only a few occasions. She inspires all. It was her almost complete lack of any emotion. In that sense, she appeared to me to be less of a ruler and more of, well, an executive official, I suppose. The issue is this. For the vast majority of people, the Vision Hunt Decree is something that has no implications whatsoever. After all, it is but a tiny minority of people who receive visions. Because of this, the attitude of most people towards the Vision Hunt Decree is one of indifference.
How can they be like that?
Nevertheless, in addition to us, there is also the
resistance? You mean like an army fighting against the decree?
Yes. Many who have lost or fear losing their visions have rallied together under Sangonomiya on Watatsumi Island to form a resistance group. To say a little more about Sangonomiya, historically, there has always been some conflict, but I do wonder whether there may be some other agenda behind their resistance movement. Of course! We have tried on numerous occasions. They invariably adopted. It almost makes one wonder whether they had a hand in the Shogun.
Ooh, Paimon has a question though.
Oh? What?
Have you got a plan yet?
To be honest, we do not.
What?
Please, do not forget that.
So...
Well, for the moment, all we can do, for example, by providing vision.
You're telling Paimon that there are people out there who can make fake visions?
Don't underestimate the talents of the craftspeople in Hanamiza. The problem we are facing right now is that Master Masakatsu, who was providing—
Darn! So they—
Yes. We knew it was not a— Exactly. I feel the same way. But given mine and Toma's identities as part of the Yashiro Commission— By no means, when you are ready, go to Hana—